And we begin tonight with UFOs. Now, hold on. Don't leave yet. Don't change the channel, because this is actually a very interesting story. And it doesn't require that you believe in aliens or in extraterrestrials or even in interdimensional beings. See, this is a story about what your government is about to tell you and whether you believe them or not. FBI Director Kash Patel is now openly saying that Americans can expect UFO disclosures in the very near future. Listen.
The idea that there would be life on other planets that may be visited here would not at all shock or surprise me. Have you ever looked into it?
We're looking at it. Here's the thing. Again.
Okay, I want all the details.
Here's the thing. Every other president before President Trump could have said, hey, let's look at that and get the American people the information. What did he do? He stood up an interagency process with Department of War leading that effort to get out the documentation related to everything that you're talking about, not just from the FBI, from the IC, and everywhere else. And so what do? We already delivered our first tranche of information to that committee, and they're going to be publicly releasing this information very soon. We are all for it. There's nothing in this subject that we're talking about that we don't want released. Our job at the FBI is to work with the White House and DOW, give them the information, and then they're going to put that out in a methodical process. And you're going to start seeing those releases literally happening in the very near future. We just met on it.
So UFO disclosures, expect them very soon, says Kash Patel. So don't get your hopes up too high. Remember all the promises that fell through on releasing the rest of the Epstein files. But still, this is a very big deal. So what are we talking about here? Pictures of aliens? Was Roswell real? Are there crashed spacecraft from another planet, from another dimension? We don't know. We have no idea. But social media, and X in particular, have been blowing up in the last couple of days with some very interesting reports. Reports from American evangelical pastors, of all people.
But there were a large number of pastors that had been invited to go to a certain state to hear some men in the United States government and others share with them a concern that they had. And this particular man, and I'll not name him, and then we may end up doing some teachings with him or having an event at his church. He has a great church. But he said, Perry, what they're about to release, from what we're hearing, there's going to be a release concerning aliens and concerning unidentified flying object spacecraft, that some of the people who were in the meeting were telling us as pastors, you need to prepare your people and you need to get ready to answer them for what you're about to hear being released. And some of it has to do with crafts that have been discovered that are not allegedly a part of our planet, and the materials they're made of are not a part of our planet. Very strange reptilian-looking creatures, and other things that almost sound like something out of a sci-fi movie or an Orson Welles book.
There's a lot to digest there, right? Let's break it down. Pastor Perry Stone, you saw him there, says he got a call from a friend. That unidentified friend, another pastor, says pastors from across the U.S. invited by government officials to hear about those upcoming alien and UFO-related disclosures. So why? Well, according to Pastor Stone, to get their congregations ready to hear and learn things they may not be able to handle. And then, of all things, he mentions reptilian-like creatures. Here's the thing. He's not the only one.
That they actually look more human with reptilian skin, but humanoid. They're hybrids. They mixed it in a lab. Come on now. Okay, so it's not from another planet. And they don't even look like you think they look. So who's in charge of that? So this is the things that I've never talked about before. I probably never will again, but thank you for coming. But this is the thing that we're dealing with. We're dealing with the book of Revelation. These things are going to come out of the earth. They didn't come on spaceships.
Okay, did you catch that? Reptilian humanoids coming up out of the earth. They did not come on spaceships, he said. So it seems to contradict slightly what Pastor Stone said, except we do have one major consistency here: reptilian creatures. Meanwhile, other pastors are saying these creatures may be interdimensional.
Full of pastors are invited to come to a private meeting with a group of men who are connected with the intelligence world that are believers, but are still have very high security clearance. These are legit, true men of God that are still connected to Washington and even this current administration and all branches of military. And they literally told us, we had a sitting congressman, a very well-known congressman from Missouri. He called into that meeting as well. That was just for pastors. And this is what he said. On speakerphone, this sitting powerful member of Congress said, "Are the pastors listening to me?" I'm getting chills right now because this happened to me. He said, "Are the pastors in the room listening to me?" And I said, "Yes, sir, we are here." And he said, "Listen to me. Go and tell the church they are not ready for what is coming. The narrative that is coming, what they are going to say is going to be like nothing you can even imagine. They are preparing to tell us that they are from another dimension, that they are our creator, and that these beings, these aliens, or whatever you want to call them, they were the ones that seeded us here. There is no such thing as God. Jesus was invented by them. The Bible was invented by them." And begin to just say, listen, prepare the people for what is coming because they're not ready.
Prepare the people because they are not ready. Interdimensional alien beings, or whatever they are, plan to deny the Bible, deny Christ, deny his church, and evangelical pastors are saying that they are being told to prepare their people. And we should expect this revelation to happen this year.
Now, we need to get this in front of every believer, every Christian that we possibly can. This year, there is coming a massive disclosure. The truth, as the government knows it, about UFOs and UAPs is going to be disclosed to the population. The Trump administration is going to attempt to make history in an historic announcement where they're going to say that these non-terrestrial interdimensional beings are real and that we do have unexplained phenomenon among us. This is going to be huge. Many so-called Christians are going to be taken captive by it. We have got to speak on this first. They need to hear it from us first. They need to hear from us what the Bible has to say about it. This is an urgent call to every pastor and church leader, including the ones who mocked me when I released this book and said I'd gone off the deep end. Of course, they didn't read the book. They didn't know what I said about it. It's time for every single pastor to teach on this. What does the Bible say about non-human entities? Now, you have noticed that the language has changed in these Department of Defense meetings as well as in these congressional hearings. They're no longer saying extraterrestrial. They're saying non-human entities.
So listen, if this seems a little bit overwhelming, we get it. It's a lot to take in, for sure. Stories are contradicting each other a bit, but that's because we're only getting bits of information. Are these beings reptilian? Are they extraterrestrial? Are they interdimensional? Are they simply non-human? Are they demonic? But despite all that, we do have quite a bit of information. First of all, you heard Kash Patel say the government and the Trump administration is committed to UFO disclosures in the very near future, which means they are going to admit something. At the same time, we begin hearing that evangelical pastors from across the nation were invited to listen to government sources warning them to prepare their people for what is coming. Now, if you have questions, so do we, a lot. First of all, why were only evangelical leaders called in? You would think if you wanted to try to reach as many Christians as possible, wouldn't you also include Catholics and maybe the Orthodox as well? Why not go to the Pope with this information? Just in terms of trying to reach the biggest audience possible, throwing out questions here. What about other faith leaders or influential people? And while all these claims do seem to be fantastic, listen, there has to be something to it. Why? Because just recently, on this very network, Congressman Tim Burchett of Tennessee told our own Scotty Nell Hughes that the government is 100% sitting on shocking UFO information. Listen.
American people are not being told the full thing, the full truth about this. We have video, possibly recovered craft. We actually had sworn testimony where federal authority people that worked in the federal government said we have crash retrieval teams. Now, what the heck are they retrieving? And why are we, and the real question people should be asking is not whether they're little green men or flying saucers. It's what are we spending tens of millions of dollars on that we're being told don't exist?
It's a real question there. So what should people believe? Well, honestly, it seems impossible to say. The consensus is out there that there are some type of entities that we are not being told about. I think that's pretty clear. Who are they? What are they? Are they friendly, hostile? More importantly, what kind of narrative, what kind of manipulation is the government going to try to use when these disclosures come out? Will we be told the truth? What won't we be told? Regardless of the truth here, we agree with these pastors, though, that we do need to be prepared. So joining us now is Joseph Z. Joseph. He is a speaker, teacher, and podcaster, and I know he's been on podcasts talking about this issue. It's great to have you on, sir. Thank you for being with us. There are some devices that they showed you images on, correct?
Yeah.
And did they show you multiple looking or different kinds of beings, or did they all look the same? Was there more than one? Were there several?
It was on a cell phone, images on a cell phone, showed it to me. And when they showed it to me, there were multiple images and they scrolled through them. And it was images of creatures in the woods. Now, it's somebody showing you pictures. You don't know what you're looking at other than, my goodness, if that's not AI, that is very convincing. And what I saw was tentacle-like creatures, really tall creatures. Some of them were translucent. You could not see facial features, more like figures that were very tall, very lanky, and there was a number of them. And they had long appendages. And I saw a number of those in these images. And these individuals had said they'd had firsthand contact with some of these issues. I asked them, does this apply to the Miami Mall incident that we experienced, well over a year ago? And they began to say, well, there is information that ties into this. They didn't go into it, but it does seem that there are correlated normalities, or I should say connected issues in that same narrative.